Next, we're going to hear from Judge Eric Lucas.
I love that line, always happy, always on. I'm going to tell my story a little bit differently because I think it's somewhat organic. And my career really starts with my parents. My parents were the owners and operators of electrical contracting company. I was a contractor's kid. And from the age of 23 to the age of 28, I basically ran the company on a day-to-day basis. From 1974 to 1980, we wired the Everett Mall, the U.S. Pavilion at Expo 74. We did the electrical rehabilitation at the Hiram M. Chittenden locks, also known as the Ballard locks. We took over and completed the electrical system at the Washington State Convention Center, you know, the one that goes over the freeway. When that contractor went out of business. Around 1982, my dad granted me permission to go to law school. And in 1986, I graduated from Harvard Law School, and the idea was that I would come back and represent black contractors and my dad's company. However, you know, once you get into law school, you find out a few things, and I found that I could never do that without trial experience. So I sought out a job at the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office and was hired. And while I was there, within the first 3 years, I had a high-profile case that ended up on national TV. And when I left, Rick Martinez was my trial team supervisor on the Special Drug Enforcement Unit. I returned to my dad's business, you know, to sort of follow through with the dictates from my father. And one thing led to another, and I eventually opened my own law firm on April 1st, 1990. From my construction experience, I developed an expertise in municipal law and small corporation law. In 1999, Snohomish County announced the new 14th position on the Superior Court bench, and my wife encouraged me to apply, and I thought she was just wrong. I was unknown, but to my surprise, I made the Final Four and was interviewed by Governor Locke. That was when Ellen Fair was appointed, and after that, however, I was appointed by the members of the bench to the pro tem list, which I'd been trying to get on for about 3 or 4 years. In 2002, and I'm skipping a bunch of stuff, I was appointed as an administrative appeals judge for the Washington State Environmental Hearings Office in Olympia, actually Lacey. And I commuted from Everett to Lacey for 3 years. So from 1999 to 2004, there were a number of appointments made in Snohomish County, and Governor Locke's office had asked us to wait because they did not feel that a black man could win an election in Snohomish County. So my wife and I did not agree with that. I think this is the passion part. And in 2004, I turned 50. And I decided I could not afford to wait any longer, and a number of attorneys and some of the members of the bench were encouraging me to challenge the sitting judge named David Hulbert. No one thought we had much of a chance. Then we got some key endorsements. The first endorsement, major endorsement, was from Everett Mayor Ray Stephenson, who also gave me some really great advice on campaigning. The next one was from Aaron Reardon, who's the county executive. I had known Hugh Spitzer for a long time and had worked with him when I was city attorney from Langley, and he opted in real quickly. And then Governor Locke endorsed us. We won. At that time, I knew that I was the first person of color to serve on the bench in Snohomish County, but there's a local reporter there who's now retired, Jim Haley, and the night of the election, he also informed us of a few things which sort of scared us. The first thing was that I was the first person of color to serve in a county-wide elected position in the history of the county, and that I was the first person to defeat an incumbent judge in 50 years. That was in 2004. In 2008, Judge Hulbert filed against me, and he ran a smear campaign against us. This time we had endorsements from our bench and every member of the Supreme Court of Washington except Justices Sanders and Jim Johnson. And we prevailed again. Don't laugh. There's a reason. My advice is, and this is the reason why I tell the story the way I told it, you know, be involved in your community. The way I look at this is not just a resume builder where you check off the points on the list. Be involved in your community other than being involved in the bar association. I always say that if you have children, this shouldn't be too hard. This was mentioned by, I think, a couple other people too. Do your most professional work wherever you are. Always do the highest level of professionalism. That's how I got to know Hugh Spitzer. He was bond counsel to the city of Blind Lake. And I'll echo Justice Manson's words about passion. You have to have passion. In our situation, it was because we grew up in Snohomish County, and we sort of started feeling like things were not progressing. And if you know my wife, like some of you guys do out there, you know, she's very, very intense and public-spirited, and I'm a little bit like that too, only a little more quietly, and that was the reason that we were in.
Thank you.